In this week's Torah portion, as you have already heard, we encounter an unexpected character accompanying the non-Jewish prophet Balaam, his talking donkey. But Balaam's donkey was not just clever enough to talk. She was clear-eyed enough to see what the prophet could not. A sword-wielding angel from God was blocking their path forward. They were on their way to curse the Israelites as the king of Moab was afraid of their military might and hired Balaam to bring misfortune on them. So the donkey stops and tries to maneuver around God's messenger, but cannot. Balaam, who was blinded by his greed for the reward offered by Balak, the Moabite king, beats the donkey. But it is only after the animal speaks in protest, and Balaam does not seem the least bit surprised that his mount can speak, and they then argue. Imagine arguing with a donkey. That Balaam's eyes are open to God's presence. God's angel tells Balaam to only speak what God commands, so Balaam ends up blessing the Israelites' encampment instead of cursing them as the king had ordered. A very strange story, and an unusual blessing was declared by Balaam as well. A usual blessing would be, for instance, the priestly benediction that we say at the end of every service. May God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine upon you. May God bless you with peace. Instead, Balaam proclaimed, "How lovely are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel. Matovu ohalecha Yaakov, mishkanotecha Yisrael." He was admiring their tents and not asking for God's blessing or even sending good wishes. Yes, a strange and unexpected blessing for this unusual and bizarre story. The choir sang a simple, round musical setting of this text during the Torah service this morning. Matovu ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. I grew up with this melody, and it always felt to me as if it was a walking song. Perhaps Balaam and his talkative donkey approaching the cliff overlooking the Israelites' camp. But here is an excerpt from Louis Lewandowski's well-constructed, pleasant Matovu composition from mid-19th century Germany. This is one of the most famous musical versions of the prayer text, which is found in your prayer books on page 143.
Mishkanotecha
For many years, that was the only matovu people ever heard all around the world. Now we have many versions. The prayer's text, after Balaam's famous opening blessing words from Numbers chapter 24, verse 5, are from 3 different psalms. Chapter 5, verse 8, chapter 26, verse 8, and chapter 69, verse 14 of the Psalms. It is traditionally sung at the beginning of the Shabbat morning service and is a prayer of praise and reverence on entering a sacred space. Yechezkel Braun's Matovu, composed in Israel in the late 20th century, is one of my favorites for its swinging, easy rhythm and pure joy. This excerpt sounds like a sweet blessing for us all. A similar message to this Matovu quote from Numbers 24 begins Psalm 84, which was our opening song this morning by Johannes Brahms. How lovely is your dwelling place, O Lord of hosts. I've always actually wondered why Balaam uttered that particular blessing. What is so beautiful about a collection of tents in the desert? After all, Balaam only saw the Israelite encampment from afar, atop a high cliff, quite a distance away. How was this nomadic camp so stunningly lovely, so overwhelmingly admirable? Of course, it was God's words coming from Balaam's mouth, and he was compelled to say them, but it is still quite a distinctive statement. The singular difference between Numbers 24, verse 5, Matovu, and Psalm 84, Mayedidot, is whose dwelling place is being described. Matovu, Israel's dwelling place, where the people lived. Psalm 84 describes God's dwelling place. God said to his prophet Moses in Exodus chapter 25, verse 8, "Build me a sanctuary that I may dwell among you." This is written on our own Emanu-El 65th Street lobby just before we enter into the main sanctuary. So the Israelites had indeed built a portable temple designed to be a dwelling place for God within the Israelite camp. I believe that it is the radiance of God's presence that spread throughout the camp that caused their tents and dwelling places to be striking and beautiful to this foreign prophet's eyes. The blessing, how lovely are your tents, your dwelling places, O Israel, is actually Balaam overwhelmed with God's presence and the brilliance of God's light shining forth from the portable tabernacle. The Matovu setting by Ernest Bloch from his Sacred Service is the only musical setting that fits this interpretation of the text. Bloch himself wrote that his sacred service was a private affair between God and me, a sacred Hebrew oratorio. The orchestral prelude, which you are hearing now, is a spiritual, quiet meditation, a very unusual opening of a major sacred work. As our organist Colin plays this eloquent music, you can feel Balaam looking out over the Israelite camp. The grandeur, solemnity, and dignity of the sound begins this beautiful high art composition. The bass's sonorous opening solo, sung by Charles Sprawls, is Balaam's voice, proclaiming with awe God's words. The choir will sing an excerpt of this monumental work, and near the end, listen for the repeated plea, Aneni, Aneni, answer me, answer me, a prayer we all feel intensely in our modern, battered world. May we all come to feel that our compassionate God hears our prayers and will indeed answer us with love and favor, and may we dwell in God's house forever. Ken Yehi Ratzon.